Hey guys, Arthelon from Storm here, and I wanted to talk about a little bit about, I think, a significant issue, and that is the lack of individual player exposure. And what mean by this is like people actually seeing and caring about individual players within a team, and not just the team itself. Actually seeing which person is playing which heroes and which players you actually like and think are good. And I think the main flaw in this is the fact that we have to use third party websites to draft, and that the tournaments, they get streamed with those third party websites for the draft instead of in game. And then just the way the observer UI in game looks. And I think this actually causes a bunch of problems. Like, it could be the reason for lowish viewer interest. Not in really numbers on streams or anything, but just people interested in heroes or the players themselves or the teams themselves or just competitive heroes in general. You don't see very many, if at all, Reddit threads discussing tournament results or matches or big plays or just about anything like competitive related. And I think it could also be a reason for just the lack of like NA teams signing up for tournaments. So, what I mean by having to use third-party websites to draft and why it really, really sucks. The reason we have to use it is because there's two major flaws in the in-game draft system, and that's you can't swap characters between players. So that means like you'll get stuck on a hero if you have to pick it early because you just can't swap, and you have to remake the draft, which really sucks because that just bunch of time wasted. And then the fact that you can't choose who gets first and second pick. Oh, there's actually a third one too, which is there's no ban system in the in-game draft. So those three reasons force us to use third-party websites like Stormcraft and Heroes Draft at the moment. I think that really sucks because on those websites, you can't see any player names on the actual draft, so you don't know who's playing what or what even players are on the teams before you get in game. And I think that seriously sucks just for the players and the viewers because you want to know who's on which teams. And I'll show you what I mean here. So here you have the Heroes Draft, and you can't see any player names on it. You just see the team name, characters, and map. And I think if we're able to see player names, it'd help tremendously before the game starts, just so you can see who's playing what, which players in which role. And I come from League, and I think League, their draft screen and their in-game spectator is really nice. This is what it looks like in League. And this is literally just all I'm talking about. It's just player names on near the characters, so you know who's playing what before you get in game. And then for the in-game observer interface, you don't see any player names either. And I know casters use the Ollie interface, but that doesn't have player names on the characters either. So it's like you don't even know who's playing what unless you specifically look at the character names and what the name above them is. I think that really sucks because, why care? You have to the viewers have to focus pretty hard to even see who's playing what, and that's the literally only time you'll see player names on streams is when they're above the character. And I think that builds very little interest in the players. So it winds up just being, team name versus team name. The casters pop in, say some words, and then you're in the game, and you just see these characters running around, and you don't really care who's playing what. And, that causes a bunch of issues, and I think it really needs to be fixed, We need to see player names somewhere on the draft screen and on the in-game interface. And like I said, I came from League, and League has a really nice in-game interface. You can see the names, of who's playing what. And for LCS exclusively, they have top, jungle, mid, AD support, so it's pretty easy to tell which roles are what. And right now, it's hard to even tell who plays what role. I think it's pretty obvious who plays support because usually that's the same character every time. But how can you tell which player is the tank, which player is the specialist or assassin every time when it's just really hard to tell which player is playing what character? So I think that would help, if you could actually see player names in game. I think the growth of the scene would be helped by this because, people would be more interested in players and more interested in the results of the games that they're playing. You'd actually care about who wins and who loses. If you love a player, you obviously want to see them win, or if you hate a player, you obviously want to see them lose. So seeing their names will help you do that. And Heroes is it's a lot harder in Heroes to actually demonstrate and see individual skill based from other games, but I still think it's very needed. Even though you're not going to see people 1v3, or you're not going to see a character single-handedly carry the game very much in Heroes, as opposed to other MOBAs or Heroes brawlers. Anything else? I think on top of that, and this is kind of a separate topic, but I think on the casting side and the tournament side, there should be more time during tournaments showing individual player stuff. This would be mostly before the game even starts. Player stats or trivia, whatever you want. Just slap that in there so people could maybe get interested in some of these players. I think casters could do generally better job of noticing individual plays. Like I said, it's really hard, but I think it's something that could really, really help the scene because people would get more excited and more motivated and more pumped if they could be the star. If a player knows they can make certain plays and show off on stream, they're going to try really hard for that. I think that'll get people really pumped to play the game and more teams interested in playing competitive at all. And then I think noticing things that an individual player does on a specific hero or role, oh wow, player X, that guy on Tassadar, wow, he does all this crazy stuff that no other person does. And I hope I'm not biased saying that. I usually watch a lot of tournaments and I listen to the casters, and I don't really hear much of that. But like I said, I'm not a caster, and it's really hard in Heroes to see that type of stuff. But you might as well try because I just really think there is a lack of individual player exposure. And when you think of team names, you don't think of the players. It's just a huge blob and blur of names that you don't really care about because you just don't see them that often. And I think that's it. So yeah, I hope this was stirred up a little bit of discussion. Maybe people agree, disagree, think I'm an idiot, but so thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.